Hello, good day everyone. This is Jobren, yours truly. So thank you so much for watching all my videos, for supporting, for subscribing my channel. So for today's vlog is I'll be explaining to you another lesson in the subject of reading visual art, and we will talk about what is a work of art. So since we are done discussing about the various definition of art, what is art, now let's try to appreciate what is a work of art. So again, based on research, a work of art is an activity that involves both your imagination and your skills in accomplishing a task. It creates your aesthetic feelings, it involves your beautiful language, it arouses emotional response and has rich imagination. Therefore, when you talk about a work of art, it is this is not just an easy way, no, because it involves you. It involves about the things that you value the most. It involves your idea of your craftsmanship, your skills, your ability to appreciate things, and that is a work of art. So according to Bogart, a work of art is a record of a particular artist's view. So it really depends on the artist. No, when you talk about work of art, it is a record of a particular artist's point of view, how he or she views his life, or how she capture all the moments that is happening into his or her own life. So it really depends on the artist, right? And how she seen things, how he feel about things, and how he comes up with their own thoughts and ideas when you talk about creating a work of art. Then a work of art is the product of the artist's unique personality, influenced consciously or unconsciously. Right? So meaning it really depends on the artist. No, when you talk about a work of art, I have my own work of art, meaning others also they also have their own work of art. It really depends upon me. It really depends upon the personality. It really depends about my own personality. So my personality could be influenced by a lot of things, right? We are affected by a lot of things like our environment, our culture, our traditions, our economic conditions, or even our national traits. So meaning, as what you can see, if you're going to visit the museum, no, for the Filipino artists, no, they're showing a lot of our tradition as a Filipino, right? They are sharing that to everybody. And also, we also have that artists who are trying to come up with this with his own story about Filipino values. So it really depends upon the artist's point of view on how she or he or she value the beautiful things that is happening around him. Right? So the arts differ in some important ways. So when you talk about arts, it differs, right? So we have the visual art. So when you talk about visual arts, it focuses on painting, sculpture, and architecture, right? They uses lines, right? Colors, tones, or canvas for the visual art. So when you talk about visual art, it's how we perceive with our own eyes. That is visual. So when you talk about visual art, this is very faster and easier to understand and appreciate, right? Because it's very visual, and the painting is very clear. It's very easy for us to comprehend what is the art all about. So what's the story behind that art? So there is an emotion or passion evoked by a work of art. So again, when you talk about work of art, there is emotion, there is passion, it uplifts your emotional response, there is a story behind it, right? So take note when you are one of the artists or Filipino artists, that you are trying to capture the emotional response of your audience. So again, the emotion or the passion of an artist differs from person to person, right? So meaning it really depends upon the artist, how strong he feels that kind of emotion. If that person feel depressed, how strong that emotional response he perceived about his or her own life. So it really differs from person to person. Okay, so there is one common element among the work of art. Okay, there is one common element among the work of art, and that is They are concerned with the audience or readers' feelings and emotion. So one of the purpose why people are doing such a work of art, because they want to capture the emotional response of the audience. They are very concerned about the audience or the viewers' feelings and emotion. That's why the deeper the emotion. So if you are an artist, no, the deeper the emotion that you went through, so it really reflects on your work of art. So if you are feeling happy, so meaning you can also show that through your work of art. If you are in love, you can also show that through your work of art. So that's how our emotional and our passion differs from person to person. So when you talk about the artist, so they are doing this such work of art because it is for the sake of art. They love art and they want to showcase that to everybody. Because art, it implies that beauty is the reason for the work of art, right? The concern of the artist, when you talk about reading visual art, is to capture the minds of the viewers or the readers. That's why they are trying to be more passionate, to uplift the emotional response of the audience. So the artist communicates his thoughts, fantasies, observations, and self-revelation through his art, right? Always self-reveal yourself through your work of art, right? So he seeks to open our eyes. The main goal of work of art is to open our eyes and ears, that we may see the world more clearly and find the meaning of the arts in our lives. Okay? That's why reading visual art or the work of art is more focused on our emotional responses, our passion, right? So because the main purpose of doing such a work of art is to open our eyes and ears to see the world clearly and find the meaning of the arts in our lives. Okay, thus, our roles is to sense what the artist is trying to tell us through his artwork. Meaning, as an audience, as a viewer, it is our job to find the meaning, right, behind his or her artwork. Right? So our roles is to sense what the artist is trying to tell us through his artwork. So artists are called by many varied names. These artists in the visual arts, they include the painter, the architect, and the sculptor. Okay, so these are the names if you are engaging into a visual art. So again, the painter paints a picture, correct? And objects from his own imagination. That is the painter. So if you are a painter, you always say, I think, I see. So through his painting, the painter reveals what he thinks he has seen, so that we too can see it with our own eyes. Because the mindset of a painter is, I think, I see. Right? So what is the idea all about? So the painter wants to reveal what he thinks so that we too can also see it with our own eyes. How about the sculpture? The sculpture, meanwhile, their job is to draw and carves from original designs and sketches, right? So he makes scale model statues of human beings, monuments, buildings, and decorations in clay, or in marble, or in stone, wood, and clay. Okay, so how about the architect? So what is the job of the architect? The architect's job is to plan, design, construct public and commercial buildings, private residences, and he plans the layout of the structure. He also prepares sketches of proposed buildings and writes the specification. So in short, if you are engaging into visual art, the painter, the sculptor, the architecture, they have their own tasks to do, right? They have their own role to play when they are trying to convey is a work of art, like the visual arts. So other artists in the visual arts, they are also considered as visual artists, like the photographers, if you like to capture pictures, images, the filmmakers, and graphic artists. Right? When you talk about graphic artists, they are more into the forms and the symbols. Okay? So the question is this: why artists have so many names? So Again, the artists are called by so many names because of their varied expertise in the use of different media or materials. Yes, they are called painter, they are called sculpture, architecture because they are using different mediums or media. So while the painter paints with pigments and uses oil, color, canvas, or anything else, the architect works with designs and the sculpture works with images. Okay, so the painter paints, the architect works with the design, and the sculpture works with images. Okay, so each artist hears and sees the things that impress him. Yes, if you are an artist, you learn how to appreciate beautiful things, even the smallest particle here on earth. Each artist hears and sees things that impress him. He portrays what he knows and what he thinks things look alike. That's why, because of their strong, rich, very rich imagination, they can come up with their own painting. They can decide on their own design, and they can work with object because of their rich imagination. So the arts are generally grouped into major and minor arts. So when you talk about major arts, this include painting, the visual artist, painting, architecture, sculpture, literature, music, and design. These are called the major arts. So according to Webster, the major arts, this is considered as major arts because it involves man's skills to create work of art that are in form, content, and execution. Again, this is called major arts because it involves man's skills to create works of art that are, they have good form, content, and execution. Okay, they are called major arts because they appeal to the senses of sight, hearing, and feeling. Again, the painting, the sculpture, architecture, literature, music, and dance, these are called major arts because they appeal to the senses of sight, hearing, and feeling. Okay, so visual arts are artworks that we perceive with our eyes, right? Visual arts, which may be classified into graphic arts and plastic arts. So when you talk about graphic arts, artworks that we perceive with our eyes, which will be classified into graphic arts and plastic arts. Number one, graphic art, these are flat two-dimensional surface, while the plastic arts, these are visual arts that have three-dimensional forms. I know you are all aware with what is 2D and 3D. Right? So some basic assumptions about the arts. Okay, so we have also our own assumption of what is art. Okay, art has been created by various people at all places and time. So art exists because it is liked and enjoyed, right? That is our assumption. Number two assumption, art is something to be seen and heard, right? Number three assumption, art is the product of man's imagination, good taste, and skill in doing things. Fourth assumption, nature is artful. Its beauty and artistry could be enhanced. Yes. So again, the way we perceive the arts depends largely on the kind of person we are, as a result of our past training and experiences, inclination, our personality, and special interest for any of the arts. Meaning it depends on me, it depends on you, on what kind of person you are when you talk about art. If you have a good experiences, childhood experiences, so you will show it through your work of art. If you experience your saddest experiences, you can also use that and create a work of art. So that is, we may find that going to art galleries or attending concerts and listening to operas and symphonies are pleasurable when we have previous training and special interest for the arts. Yes, when we go to concert, no, like BTS. Okay, so I think I am not in the generation of the millennial generation, no? So we are not close with BTS, but for the current generation now, they are so attached because the songs, they are very active, they are very energetic, very go to the millennial, the Gen Z generation, so they can blend in. So for me, I find it not pleasurable. But if you let me attend a concert for Backstreet Boys or Westlife, so it makes me feel pleasurable because that is my time, that is my generation. Okay, so here are some guide questions to aid one's understanding of a piece of artwork, particularly in the visual arts. So when you see a picture, when you see a paint, when you see a sculpture, when you see a design, so what comes into your mind for you to appreciate visual art? Number one, what did the artist make? What is it about? So I want you to look at the subject, right? This concerns the subject of the art. Number two question, so that you'll be able to appreciate visual art, what did the artist want to show in his work? What is the artwork for? Again, this concerns the function of the art. Number three questions, what is the artwork made of? This refers to the materials or medium used. Number four, how is the material put together or organized? This refers to the materials or medium used. Number five, what is the personality or individuality of the artwork? Again, this refers to the style and mood or temper of the artwork. Number six, how good is it? And this is the judgment. Number seven question, what is the meaning conveyed by the art? How does it make life more meaningful? So those are the questions that would really help us in appreciating the beauty, the artwork, particularly in the visual arts. Let's all find meaning in visual arts. Okay, the aforementioned guidelines are essential to understanding the works in visual arts, particularly in painting, architecture, and sculpture. Consequently, it may result in a better appreciation of the arts. Again, if you are able to answer those 7 questions, you will find it you will better appreciate the beauty of such a work of art. Right? So, for example, again, if you are not able to appreciate the beauty of the art, meaning that is ignorance, right? Art unappreciated leads to ignorance because you don't know the meaning of such a work of art. Okay, so fully appreciated, if you're able to appreciate the beauty of art, it enables us to see the world in a grain of sand and the rise above the sod of clay and to mount to heaven round by round. Okay, that's very complicated. No, again, let's go back. If you are able to appreciate the beauty of art, you're able to see the world clearly, right? But if you aren't able to appreciate art or art are appreciated, meaning you are ignorant when it comes to a work of art. Thank you so much for listening. I hope that you are learning from all the videos that I've posted. Thank you so much for subscribing and for supporting my channel. This is Jo Brand and this is our lesson 2. Please keep posted for our lesson number 3 for reading visual art. Thank you so much and God bless you.